This is the Sim Pit. It's Friday morning, and that means it's the pit stop. I'm here with my good friend, Amir Assad. How you doing, Amir?
Good, buddy. How are you doing?
I am doing pretty chill this Friday morning.
Pretty chill. That's
Yeah.
good.
I've
Is it?
run myself ragged. I have so many problems and issues going on right now that,
Yeah.
like, there's nothing normal about anything going on in my world right now. And so I'm just kind of a mess. And I think
Okay.
today's the day. Like, I finished a few things. It's not like I'm done by any means. I have so much more to work on. But
Yeah.
I finished a few big things, and now I'm just kind of like, oh, okay. Why don't you breathe for a minute now? And I'm just kind of chill this morning. It's cold. It's winter, and yeah. All right, let's check in. Let's do some check-ins.
Yeah.
Who was first to the show? Tom Jones.
Always, Tom.
I
Always the
have
first guy.
Earbud in my pocket. That's Tom Jones. Tell me to chill.
Wow,
Take a chill pill.
otherwise, very nice.
Take a chill pill, Cole. Tom Jones, thank you very much. Callum's here. Amir's here. Dave Payne. John Baylor Gron's here. Andrew White. Forget AC Evo. It's time for Daytona 24. Well, for a lot of people, how can you forget about Evo? We'll talk about Evo in a minute. Star Fox, good morning to you. Turge is here. Turhey, I think. Did I say that right? I think Turhey. Is that what we decided? Or have I screwed it all up? Hinchy's here. Joa's here. Cold is a relative thing, Joa. Dan DiMaggio's here early. Yane's here. Tony's here. Good morning, everybody. What's cold? It was 36 degrees, which is in Fahrenheit, which is 4 degrees above freezing.
So, I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, I guess if you're a California person, yeah, I guess that's kind of cold. You got to wear your Eskimo suit and all that stuff, right?
I had to wear everything I own.
Where's that? I got to go back and find that meme that Joa made years ago of you putting your face on Bernie Sanders huddled up in the snow like this.
Yeah, totally. That's how I am every day right now. Good morning, Alan. Hi, Yanni from Finland. Good morning. Yeah, okay, I can't talk about cold when we have people from Finland and Nova Scotia and other places known for cold. I've never sent snow to your house. I don't have snow. It's not that cold. All right. You've got LCM pedals. Would it be a good upgrade to the P1000? That's a really interesting question, John. I don't know if that's enough upgrade to do it. Like if I was gonna, like, TLCMs are not a bad pedal set. My only gripe is visually speaking with the plastic casing kind of thing. Like, functionally, they work pretty darn good. They don't have much adjustability. I mean, that would be one thing you'd gain by going to a next step up. P1000s are like the very next step up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so usually if I have something that I feel good about, I'll usually try to go 2 or 3 steps up if I'm going to upgrade. That's my logic on things. So, I mean, I feel like you have a good set of pedals, so a little tiny upgrade probably won't really be good bang for the buck, you know. With that said, P1000 is a great pedal sets. So, pedal set. That's pants weather. You know what? Age has not been kind to me in so many ways, but my ability to withstand temperatures has changed. When I was young, I'd go out in shorts in the snow. It didn't bother me. Now, if there's a little wind, I might need a coat, you know.
Yeah.
Not to mention that's where I keep my Werthers, is in my coat pocket. So, yeah. All right. How you doing, Amir? I know I already covered that. I feel like I'm just kind of rolling on a rant, or not even a rant, just a ramble here.
No, doing good, man. It's been these past couple weeks have just been so freaking crazy. Yeah, with real life stuff, I just haven't really had time to do a lot of sim racing because like most of my sim racing stuff's been focused on Daytona this weekend, and then getting ready for then AC Evo dropped yesterday. So, dude, I haven't had any time at all to like make any content or anything like that. It's just yeah. Like when you're talking about how you're a little exhausted, like, dude, I feel the same thing. Like I got hired by this new company, and oh my god, the amount of paperwork that I had to do was like, oh my gosh, you gotta, and and I'm talking to like 5 or 6 different people. I'm sending all these 5 or 6 different people the same information so they could use it for 7 different things.
Right.
Oh my god, like why can we not? Why is there just like not one system that can just
Autofill.
Just autofill everything and then send that info to who needs to send it.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, like, yeah, life is good, man. It's I can't complain. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, David Payne, P1000's our load cell.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I would say for John, like if he wants to go from TLCMs to P1000s, like just the basic 1000s, I don't think it's going to be that big of an upgrade. I've tried both of them too. But if you're going to go, I think, and you have them, Sean, like I think if you go with the hydraulic brakes added onto it, then that's where it becomes a game changer.
And that would be a good reason to go P1000 route is like if money was part of the issue, the upgradability over time.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. Volman asking 55 in Q6 TLC or 49-inch curve. What's a 55-inch Q6 TLC? What's that? You don't know? I don't know. Anyone?
Oh, I'm trying to find the comment. I'm trying to find the comment.
It was Volman. Volman.
Oh, Volman. Okay, new simmer here. Building my rig this weekend. Question 55-inch Q6 TLC. I mean, I don't know if like a 55-inch monitor versus a 49-inch curve. I have I've never simmed with the 55-inch, but I have a 49-inch. I have the Samsung OLED G9. Dude, I love that thing. That thing is by far one of the best monitors I've ever had, man.
But if you're running a single 55, you're running 4K or 1080 format versus on a 49 curved, you're getting the benefit of 2 screens.
Yep.
So I mean, my personal answer to that would be the 49 curved. I love racing on my 49-inch curve, by the way.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I love it on my second rig. It's awesome, man.
I was going to switch my main rig to it, but it didn't work with the way I stream racing. I need it to be a single monitor in the middle. Yeah. OBS doesn't capture on a double wide.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going TV, like you're gonna have to worry about like refresh rates and things like that. I mean, but again, like I don't know if the volume is gonna be like simming on console, if he's gonna be on PC. If he's on console, I don't think it really matters. But if you're gonna be on PC, like I would personally say go with the 49-inch curve. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get that 144 hertz refresh rate. The good HDR. All that, all that stuff. I think that would be a way better option than a 55-inch TV.
Yeah. Alan went and picked up a Junkyard. This goes back to a couple pit stops ago, I believe. We all helped Alan out, giving him some advice to get a Junkyard seat to build a DIY rig and to go and get a pair of drop Sennheiser headphones. And he did. Awesome. That's great to hear. I wish I got commission on these things. No, that's so cool. That's so cool. No, OBS didn't. I mean, maybe there's a way to do it that I couldn't figure out, but it did not like it, and it just completely ignored my triple screen when I plugged it in. It worked. No. Okay, Simrig. It picks up the single monitor of your triples, but it doesn't pick up a double wide, a 38. What's the 3860? I can't do the math that quick in my head.
Should.
Yeah, so that, but I would have, that was my plan, because I find it really hard to film around triple screens. So if I have my rig, and this was the whole motivation for the Forever rig, honestly, was to have a rig that was just mine that I didn't have to worry about filming on, and then have a second rig that would be the mule, the test mule for testing gear. My new room, I just didn't have enough room for the 2 rigs and filming room. I have enough room for 2 rigs, just not for everything I need to do here. And so I just find it really hard. I was trying to film the back of the steering wheel, and it's like I can't get my camera anywhere there, and it's a real pain in the ass. So I mean, it's honestly, unfortunately, compromising the show even. Another Deathmobile has been born indeed. All right, it's been a big week for the Sim Pit.
It has.
Yeah.
It has been.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on this week.
I know.
We'll start with me. We'll go back in order.
Do it.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean, you had 2 videos.
Yeah, so first was the CM, and I have more coming actually.
Yeah.
First is the CM2 Dash by Moza.
Sim racing gear is...
You know, I never know if I should take things personally, other than I really liked. Oh, John, thank you. Alan, I'm sorry, Alan.
Wow,
Alan, thank you very much.
Nice.
Very, very, very much appreciated. I never know. I gotta tell you, if I read all the comments of this show, I would have stopped doing this years ago. I don't have thick enough skin for today's cutthroat, say anything that's on your mind attitude towards things. But that's a different story for a different day that would require the Rant Cam, and I'm not going to go there. So sometimes I have to separate. Is it the product that's getting clowned, or is it me? And, you know, I can't help but just take everything personally. What are you going to do? Anyway, so a lot of people feel that $200 is too much for a Dash. I saw a few different people making that comment, saying, "Hey, you could just use a cell phone." And I thought, I don't disagree with that, and yet I can make that argument for almost every single product that comes on my show. It's just a matter of what is your technical ability and skill, and your need to do it yourself. That's why I do Deathmobiles, do it yourself. Well, I could make that art every time someone buys a fancy SimLabs, rig. I could be like, well, geez, you could have just built that out of wood, huh? Probably got wood in the garage. You don't even need to go to Home Depot for it, right? Button boxes, dashboards, even steering wheels themselves. There are those who like to build. Mm-hmm. There are those who like to just not think. Just spend a little bit of money and have your stuff just work. And I think that when you start looking at things like, and then I could make the other argument, which is, what do you need a Dash for? I mean, isn't all of that information on your screen already? Why are you looking down to the Dash when it's already there? So we could do this all day long in sim racing because the nature of what we do. David Payne!
Wow, it's very nice.
Loonies and Toonies. Thank you.
I think the big thing comes down to is just how much is that equipment worth for you? Like, you might say, we're somewhat similar, Sean, but we're very different too. Like, for you might think like, oh,
the CM2.
A $300 DDU, that's too expensive for you because you don't value a DDU that much.
Right.
Like, for me, like, if I value a DDU, like, I want it to be made out of bullet aluminum. I want it to have 32 LEDs. I want it to have like a 7-inch screen. I'm willing to spend $500-600. To me, that's okay. That's not expensive to me. Like, and I hate how people nowadays try to push this mentality of, if they think it's cheap or expensive, that everybody else must agree with them. And not just like in this stuff, but like just in any kind of opinion that people have nowadays. Like, dude, it's an opinion. Like, everyone has one. Like, they're nothing special. Like, to you, like, something like that is going to be too expensive. But this person next to you is like, oh, to me, like, dude, I've got like $1,000 in my pocket right now. Here you go.
Sure.
I hate this. I hate people. This whole argument when we're talking about prices of things, like now, if we would compare it to like an equal DDU, like a DDU of equal like specs, everything like that, and that DDU is $100, then yeah, the Moza one for $249 is expensive when you compare it to this one. And that's how you get. I think that's the only way you can compare like what is expensive and what's not expensive. I hate these arguments when people's like yeah.
Well, you know what it is? I gotta tell you. Okay, we can almost get a rant cam. Not quite a rant. No, we're not gonna go there. We're still not gonna do it. This all comes from such a level of privilege. This is like Chevy versus Ford argument. You know, I'm a Chevy guy, so I can't tell you how many... And I've owned a Mustang, and I've owned a Cougar. Don't get me wrong, but I am a Chevy guy. And so I've had this argument with my Mustang-owning friends that Chevy's so much better. You know, come on, the Chevy 350 is the most reliable engine ever built. What are you talking about? You know, come on, blah, blah, right?
Yeah.
And it only comes at a point where you have so many options that you can start to have like brand loyalty or just this like eye in the beholder pick and choose. I saw a great comment in regards to like Asto Corsa Evo, and you know we're gonna get to that in just a moment, but like we don't have a lot of choice when it comes to software.
Right.
You know, so when you're like getting ready to like poo on Evo, not you, I'm just saying you. Anyone?
Oh, I'm gonna poo-poo on it. Don't worry.
Just remember, I owned a Cougar. Where is she now? I lost my train of thought on that one. Wow. No, but with Evo, we don't have a lot of software to choose from, so we really do have to kind of really root for all of them. On the hardware side of things, we're getting such an amount of selection that allows you a little more freedom to be selective. And Heiko, let's see, Heiko said, did you want me to educate you on why you need a dash? No, you didn't quite put it like that. Some things are a bit over... Heiko, please tell me why you think a dash is necessary. Everybody jump in on this. So, I mean, and I think the dash is necessary for the concept of why me and Amir were pursuing forever rigs.
Yep.
Like, even if you don't look at it, sometimes it's just there for the photo op. Sometimes it's just there for the styling. It's just there because you want your rig to be so over the top, cool, badass, and awesome. And so, yeah, I mean, and if that's the case, and this gets back to kind of my argument here, a cell phone won't do. I'm sorry, but if I'm building the ultimate rig and I'm trying to compete with other guys because I'm going to post pictures on Reddit, a cell phone Velcroed, Tom, to my dash is not gonna do it compared to something that has nice rev strip integrated into it, indicator lights, customizable dashes. I guess you could customize your dash on a cell phone somehow, some way. The other thing for me on this one, absolutely without question, the Moza integration. I mean, yeah, I know you could plug that into the hub and use it anywhere. Actually, you could just plug it in direct and use it anywhere. But it's really the way it actually... I mean, like, even if I own, like, an R16 or an R21, I wouldn't get this dash because it doesn't bolt right to the top like it does. It's just the way it goes on that base is so perfectly cool. When I used a cell phone, it was very laggy. Very laggy. And also, my cell phone tends to run out of battery and get hot if I plug it in and run the screen. And there are all sorts of weirdnesses to using a cell phone. But it totally works. That's the whole point here. But it totally works. There are a lot of options. You can just get one of those Vocore displays on its own. You don't even need to buy a fancy one. You can just plug that thing in if you don't care about aesthetics or you're going to build a little wood trim on your own. So... jank, but it's not always jank. That's the thing. I mean, some people take it super duper seriously. So yeah. And that's the thing. I gotta tell you, and this has been my history in sim racing as long as I've been a part of it. I really appreciate and love all of it because I think that's what makes it so cool. I mean, it's like I love Lemons Racing because it's sort of like that. Everything's janky, right? Everything at a Lemons race is janky. And at the same time, I really appreciated running like the highest level of shifter karting where everything was like super pro level. And I really appreciate looking at like Formula One or things that take that, and multiply it by 100. We have all this level of racing from the basement to the penthouse. So, yeah. And same thing in dash displays. And you can spend a lot more than 200 too, by the way. That's not like that's top of the line by any means.
No, I mean, you see some DDUs are close to $800. I mean, to me that's expensive. I'll say that, but that's just how much value I put into DDU. But a $400 DDU, to me, that's perfectly okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Heiko, there is information that you can get on it. The other thing that I have found, like the indicator lights, for example, I actually don't notice the flag when iRacing puts up the white flag in the upper left corner of my screen. My eyes are nowhere near that, so I don't see the white flag. And I could actually run the white flag not even knowing I'm on the last lap because often I don't have my spotter on. Because if I'm streaming picture-in-picture, I don't have a spotter. So my spotter didn't tell me, and I'm just like, oh, shit, the race is over. I'll keep racing and find people pulled over on the side of the road. So, I love the indicator lights, The other is, like, certain things that I don't necessarily want. Let's say I'm going to leave my F3 screen on, so I have relative, but I want to really have a really easy way of seeing what my current lap times are, just for benefit. Tires. If you're doing pit stop changes, it's great to have tire information up on that screen instead of having to cycle through your menu for no reason. Anytime I don't have to cycle menus, I am a better racer. Because every time I have to touch my buttons and start navigating menus, I can guarantee you that I am not as precise a driver. And we can't always wait for a long straightaway.
Yeah.
351. Are you talking about my Cougar? Yeah, I do. I do love the flexibility and ease of doing it as well. All right, that's enough of that. That's the problem. The other review was the new FSR2 wheel. We can get through this a little quicker because it kind of involves a lot of the dash conversation.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Oh no, so because I actually was gonna ask you this question because we're gonna be talking our videos, and Dan actually asked it. But I guess as you get into it, because they originally had the FSR, right? The FSR, and now they released the FSR2.
Correct.
So, and the only thing that I noticed the difference between the two, the biggest things I noticed is now you have added LEDs like you were talking about, on the sides.
Indicator lights, sure, the 6.
Your indicators, fuel, whatever, right? And then now you got the extra paddle shifters.
It's more than that, though.
Yeah, right. So okay, that's what I was gonna say. Can you get into more what's the biggest difference between the FSR and the FSR2, and if you had an option, what would you pick between the two?
But wait, there's more. No, actually, the biggest upgrade, the paddle shifters are the most obvious, right? Because it's like, oh wow, look at that, look at all those shifters. Arguably more than you need, right? The indicator lights are super cool. That's super cool. The little mini joysticks were changed to 7-way switches.
Okay.
So the old joysticks are almost like the Club Sport BMW original. It's just man, you can't have that little mini thing on a steering wheel. It's useless once you're on track, And but the biggest one is the change of the display itself. So the original display was not a touch screen. It was a little harder to change between dashes. It was also, you didn't have the same freedom to build your own dash. It was like a fixed, closed system. So the FSR was their first wheel that had a display, and since then, all of their display wheels have been a lot more functional in that respect. So that's the next one. And then as far as the actual, which one I go, it's a no-brainer, because the original FSR was originally $650, the same price. So all these upgrades are technically free. Now, I air quote free because they dropped the price of that wheel down to $550 until they sold out of them, and now they're gone. Okay. You can't get the original FSR wheel now. So this is the only option. So again, it's a no-brainer. It's like, well, yeah,
well, then, it's a no-brainer now. Like, you got really no choice.
This is a really great wheel, though. We are talking about displays,
right?
This is $650. It is by no means cheap. Okay, $650 is the point that I would call it. It's not even mid-range. It's below, but to people on a budget, $650 is a lot of money for a wheel rim, not even a wheel system, right? And at the same time, this is one of the least. This and the Sim Magic has a comparable rim. It's older, so it was originally $750. It's now $650. So they're the same price. And I haven't held that wheel from Sim Magic in my hands, but knowing their other stuff, it's probably just a little bit nicer even. But those are the two cheapest wheels you can get with a full display and backlit buttons and all of the works and all the bells and whistles. And all of the features on this level wheel are the exact same features you find all the way up to $2,500. So I don't care what wheel. You could buy a GSI, you could buy, what it'd be, Core. Pick your favorite wheel brand, spend $2,000. You're not going to get any feature that isn't in this FSR wheel. It's not quite as nice. Yeah, the plastic handles on the bottom are, I mentioned that in my review. It's something I wish they had upgraded from the original. Like, if they had just made that, aluminum would be a weird piece there, but it would be better than plastic. The other thing they could have done is they could have just filled that, instead of it being hollow plastic, they could have made them a little more solid pieces, and it would be better for me.
Well, my thing is when I watched your video too, I sat there and watched it, and I'm not sure, because a lot of other companies nowadays are doing this, instead of using, the black leather and then you screw it, either screw it or glue it in, why, wouldn't it have been just a better option to do mold injection handles instead? I don't know if that, I can't imagine that would increase the price versus having to do the perforated leather and all that. I don't know. That was just my thinking nowadays, because I prefer the mold injected,
But on those, you're talking about that rubberized outside feel.
Yeah, I prefer those over leather or anything else.
I think that's an area that there will always be. It's not even an argument. I think some people I kind of don't like the feel of rubber sometimes. So my GSI has rubber grips and they're awesome.
Yeah.
But at the same time, leather is soft. So there's nothing not soft about the rubber grips, but sometimes leather just feels soft and soothing to the skin, especially when you're talking Alcantara. Suede, for those who don't know what I'm talking about. Fake suede.
I'll never own one of those Alcantara rim again. I never want one of those. It gets so nasty after a while. You gotta clean it. Oh no, I'm good. I don't know, because is it because people is it just the bottom part, where that plastic handle goes over the leather? Is that the only part that's plastic, or is it inside, where the leather is plastic, or you don't know?
Oh, it's on my rig. It's plastic under the leather.
Okay.
It's that same handle that is the bottom. It's a one piece, I think. It's just stepped in, and then they glue leather into that section there in the middle.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I like the rim a lot. My biggest gripe of the rim doesn't apply to me. But, when I'm reviewing, I have to think about everybody, right? It's not me. 280 millimeters
Small.
was... Yeah, that was cool back in 1970 Formula One, right? But 280 is really narrow for some people. I mean, if you're a 6-foot dude with, broad shoulders, 280 is going to feel like a dragster wheel, you know? And I did make that comment. The other is the grip area. I'm sure that you could fit your hands in there. It's not like they're so small that big hands wouldn't fit in. And I don't have tiny hands. My hands are pretty normal. They're a little short and fingered, but the width is, But yeah, I just thought that the grip was if you were big old mitten hands, you wouldn't want to use that either.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because it's small and because I'm small and I could get my hands on it good, it gave me the ability to get really aggressive. Like, just like,
Right.
I am in command of the wheel, not the wheel in command of me. So I did kind of like that.
Okay.
But if you rode on a 280 wheel for all the time and then you switch to a 310 or a 320, you'd be like, oh my god, this is huge. Or vice versa. If you've been on a over 300 millimeter rim and you went down to 280, it would feel
Right.
very twitchy for a little while.
Yeah.
Excuse me. All right, now I'm gonna shut up. You talk.
Oh, me? Talk
Yeah,
about what?
Evo.
Evo, Asto Corsa Evo.
I'm playing the video for Evo.
Oh, yeah. So I released my video, Sean. I don't know if you were watching. Well, I didn't really release the video. I streamed it.
I watched
And-
some. I watched periodically. I had it running in the background when I was doing other stuff.
Right. And it's kind of, I don't know if it's funny or not, but to me it was funny, at least because, I made a decision like, all right, I'm not going to stream at launch. I'm going to wait till 7 o'clock because I had a bunch of other things to take care of, and they were way more important than streaming AC Evo. And so I'm sitting there, waiting. I'm seeing a bunch of other streamers are already online, like for hours before they even launched, and they're playing their sims and stuff. And then comes time to release AC Evo. Nothing. The game goes off the timer, and then it just says coming soon. The website was down. I even joined the Asto Corsa Discord. They were super silent on their Discord. They weren't posting it on Twitter. And then I'm watching the streamers, and some of them are freaking out. I was like, "What the hell is going on? What is it?" It was hilarious. And I expected at least a couple of guys to get early access keys. I mean, we're just schmucks. I knew we weren't gonna get it, but I was expecting maybe
Nobody
Jardier or Jimmy Broadbent or somebody to get early keys for it. Nobody had early keys for it. And
I was a little butthurt. Wow, they didn't reach out to us at all. Anyway, go on.
And then so you couldn't buy it through Steam, but then some people went and bought it through Humble Bundle, CD keys and stuff. And it would say you own the game, but you couldn't download it either. And I think it was 30 minutes, an hour later, then you could finally download it, and everybody started streaming and everything like that. So I'm glad I waited till 7 o'clock to stream it. All right, they went through all the anxiety and all the other stuff. I'm just sitting back, kind of laughing and just watching. So it was good, and I think the big thing was and this will go into my rant.
Uh-oh.
My rant.
I don't have a rant cam for you. I need to set that up.
I think they were having a server backend issue because once the game went live, you couldn't go online to get all the content. You only had 6 cars out of the 20, but you had all the tracks.
Right.
So they had to do a live patch. I think that came another 30 minutes or an hour later to where, all right, now you can have access to all the cars, all the tracks. And but then everything was kind of fine, but there's still some features you can't access. They haven't gone. The servers aren't even live yet. And there's well, we weren't anticipating this many people. I well, today now, and this is kind of goes into now my early access, people not anticipating. I'm how can you not anticipate how many people are going to be coming and playing this game? You can look at Steam statistics to see how many people have it on their wish list. You can look at previous titles, how many people on your previous titles have been playing it, and just and do an expectation of, all right, we're expecting, let's say 40,000 people. All right, so let's make sure our server can handle 60 to 70,000 people, and or why did you not test all this stuff before you actually went live? To me, it's mind-boggling, especially because I'm a computer network guy. This is stuff that we do before we launch new services and stuff. Is we stress test it. We do all this stuff before the game launch, and did you guys not do any of the stuff beforehand? And now go into early access. I'll get all the bad out of the way. I want to get that out of the way, and then we'll get into the good. Sean, I freaking hate early access BS.
Yeah.
To me, like it's gotten to the point like I can understand early access for indie developers. I can understand early access for like very, very small teams. You know, they don't have the budget. They rely on word of mouth to get the, the name out for their title and everything like that. But for like a company that already has two very well established sims to release a title early access, which is already 6-7 months late, and we're not going to even get the full game until like end of this year, and to release like such a small little portion, like you get the 20 cars, the tracks, like there is no multiplayer whatsoever. Like what the hell? Like why do people play Asto Corsa or any sim racing title? So they can play with their friends. And you can't even, I don't care about ranked servers. Okay, bring that later on down the road with SimGrid and LFM and all that stuff. But at least allow us to host our own lobbies.
Mm-hmm.
Or, they say, like, or at least have, they talk, they created this giant, massive buzz about open world. Like, at least have one, I mean, you could have had at least one open world map. Like, to me, like, that's, nowadays, like, it's, I hate now that people have grown to accept the fact that, early access, like, it's okay. It's okay, but like essentially you're the beta tester. Like you're doing all the testing for the developer so they can go back later on and fix what's wrong.
Sure.
Like you could have said, hey, we're going to have like a closed beta or, closed alpha, closed beta, open beta, and then get all that stuff out of the way, and then get into launching the game. Like, why do yeah, because like me just streaming it, I had graphic issues. Like every time I go onto the track, I'd have to reset my graphics because the screen would go blank. I was having other issues. Like I load up Laguna Seca, and as I'm driving, leaving my pit box, all of a sudden, like, I'm underground in Area 52, like, and Dan DiMaggio's looking down at my crotch, so...
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I know. So, like, that's the thing I really starting to despise, like, nowadays that it's becoming a norm, and this isn't just for sim racing, this is for indie games, like, it's becoming a norm for all these companies to release games that are unfinished and expect the masses to be okay with it.
Right.
Like, no, it shouldn't be okay. And like, I bought it mostly because we're a sim review channel, so I kind of one of us had to get it. But if I'm a normal consumer, like a video gamer, and I saw this, like, oh no, I would not buy that. Like, I've refused to buy so many games because they do early access, or there's so many things. Like, the last time I bought a brand new game was Cyberpunk 20,
Uh-oh.
Right? And ever since then, I've refused to ever buy a video game from day one. Like, Cyberpunk is amazing now. It's a great fucking game. But after that, like, no, I'm not doing that stuff anymore. I refuse to be a beta tester for you guys.
Right.
Unless we're actually in a beta. So, yeah.
All right, I have a few thoughts I want to address on that. Andy White, I think we've talked to you. I think you've often chimed in when we talked some Asto Corsa. They're not a huge. So he's saying they're not a huge development team. I appreciate that. But I think the theme of what Amir is saying. I'll give a couple other examples. But like, if anybody follows, like City Skylines 2. Came out. I mean, it was a very anticipated game by a very, known publisher, and it was a fiasco. I bought it pre-release because I was so excited about it, and then it came in and it was just broken as could be. I got bored playing the broken version, and I haven't even fired it up since. Yeah. And I'm not sure, like, and this could be detrimental to sales. Sure, they got me this time, but I might not even want it in that genre. Like, maybe that's not my thing. Planet Coaster kind of did a similar thing just now, where like theirs came out and it's like, they messed all sorts of stuff up, and now they're talking about a big year this year of coming, changes, and it's like, well, let's see if you do it. Forza, same thing. So here's what I'm going to say though. in my opinion, I think that eventually, especially in the more niche you get, I mean, like, if you're niche like Goat Simulator, it might not matter. But if you're a niche like genre that exists, like sim racing, I'm not sure that this group is like gives you just a free pass on that. I think you build a lot of negative sentiment, and that people, you know, they're so in their sim that if that new flavor isn't better, they're not going back to it. So here's what I would have recommended, and I'm not a marketing expert, and Asto Corsa certainly didn't hire me or pay me to say this. Well, obviously by what I'm about to say. If, you know, in the case of an indie, it doesn't even need to be an indie, because look at like a R Factor company, right? I almost called them ISI. Sometimes you need a cash grab. Like, maybe you need money to finish development for whatever reason.
Right.
Okay, so maybe you have to do an early access to raise funds. There's one thing. But if that's not the case, and it doesn't matter about the size of the company, it's just a matter of finances, like Amir said, having a closed beta, it allows you to at least make all those people sign off some kind of paragraph saying, hey, I understand this is completely unfinished work. You know, we're looking for bugs. That's the reason we've created a beta group, to help us try different hardware combinations, different, you know, wheels and whatnot. And you could have used that as a growing opportunity and not built negative. Because a lot of time people feel so privileged to be on the beta that they're not going to hold it against the developer because they feel like they're on the inside of helping it get better. Now, the other option, and this is the one that I really wish they had gone with, instead of doing these, like, messed up releases of a hodgepodge of stuff, if you really want to tease your effort, I would have also said, if you're not ready, don't tell people yet. So people, you know, the only reason anyone is anticipating it is because they said, hey, we're doing this. As soon as you say that, people are going to be like, when is it? When is it, right? If you don't tell them, they won't ask, all right? If I tell you that I have a show coming out with the coolest wheel ever tomorrow, or coolest wheel ever, until I release it every day, someone's going to ask me, when's that video coming out? All right? So they could have just not announced it. But here's what I really, really, really wish they had done. Why didn't they just put out one car, one track? Like, look, no multiplayer, you don't need it. Here's one car, one track, so you can get a look and a feel and hear the sounds of Evo. You know, just a teaser. Because if this was a teaser, it was a teaser that left people not wanting more so much as some people left frustrated. I'm saying this also looking on Steam.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they did for ACC. ACC was like that. Once they went early access, it was one car, one track every month. They would release a new car, new track every month after that.
Yes. A new video tomorrow. Looking on Steam, though, this isn't good. All reviews, 3,200 of them overnight, mixed. I don't buy games that say mixed reviews on Steam. Do you?
Me? I haven't, dude. Again, it depends. It depends on the game. Like, it depends on if what type of genre and what, like, if it's like a game that's more towards me, it depends. But usually no. If it's positive or above, that's when I'll buy it.
You're right. If it's something that I really want for some other very specific reason, I might buy a mixed review. But if I was just like on one of the, I'll give you a great example. If it was like the Steam Halloween sale, right? And I'm like, oh, time to buy some games. And the last, I've literally bought games that I've never even downloaded and played, but I was just buying games because I was like, I'm going to buy games, right? And I would, in that circumstance, I would not buy a game with a mixed review.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, no, I don't even know what this is. No, I'm not taking a chance. People don't like it. It sucks. So.
Yeah. But I mean, I get into it. Like, again, like I got all the bad stuff out of the way, right? So
okay.
And so, again, this is just my opinion, guys. So it's my opinion is worthless. So, but there are some really good things to it. There are some things that I really enjoyed about it. And I'll maybe like I'll work on a video like doing like my initial impressions, like 'cause it's early access. I'm not gonna judge it too much. There are just some things those ones I mentioned. I think they could have done it better. Because they should have learned from their previous two titles what worked and what didn't work, and it just seems like with this one they didn't learn. They just kept on doing the same thing. But anyways, the positives, like I really enjoyed the sounds of the cars. The sounds feel really good. The graphics are really good once you get everything set up correctly. The cars themselves, like you don't have that big of a selection right now. You'll have, I mean, we'll have more. They'll have way more cars once the game actually official. But like, they actually drive like how you would expect them to drive, like a front-wheel drive car. If you've ever been on a track with a front-wheel drive car, like when you're going a quarter, you hit the brakes, like it gets a little wiggly, it gets a little nervous. But then now you're fighting understeer because now you're trying to brake and steer and get on the gas all around the same time, and you're expecting so much out of the front wheels to do three different things, and that's just not how things are supposed to work. And then the rear gets very light, so it can get really fishtail happy, which like I loved. Like I drove the Golf, I drove the Hyundai i3, and they felt like driving it and getting it, like it felt very much like a front wheel drive would behave and act. I'm like, okay, like all right, now I got to adjust my driving. And then getting into some of the other cars, like, all right, like I got into the Ferrari challenge car, we did the Mercedes GT2, proper race cars. They felt exactly like race cars. Like the Ferrari felt more like a mid-engine car. The Mercedes felt like a front-engine car. Like with the GT2 car, you get you have lots of power in the rear, and the Merc was all wanting to fishtail and slide out. So it was really good. I really enjoyed how the cars drove because they actually behave like you would expect them to, not like in some other sims where like they have some ganky physics or anything like that. Like you can really understand where the limits of the cars were when you're hitting that threshold.
Right.
So that stuff was really good. I need to go back and readjust my FFB to make it feel better because I didn't really feel a lot of road textures. Like when I was going over the curbs, I didn't really feel the curbs. But again, I need to go back and adjust my FFB. Maybe there's just an FFB thing.
There is a Evo wheel settings article that I haven't read on Overtake, by the way.
And I need to go through that, and just because the settings, me and Joa were talking about it afterwards. And you have to adjust your FFB in a very different way than you would adjust it for like iRacing. Like normally I would, for me normally I would adjust, make sure that my wheel is set to 100% in the wheel software, and then adjust it in the game. And then you just and all that stuff. But no, ACC or AC Evo, no, you have to lower your wheel in the software and then mess around with it in the game. So to me that felt very odd because normally, like, I know if you lower it like to say take your SimiCube wheel from 30 newton meters, you drop it down to 15, but then in the game you set it to 15.
Right.
You're gonna run into clipping through your wheel because now you're exceeding what you set for your wheel. So you don't do that. You always have your wheel in the software always at 100%. And you fix it in the game. AC Evo tells you to do something very different. So I got to go through and play around with it and see it. But I mean, overall, like I felt like this has a very solid foundation. Like the sounds were great, the graphics were great, the cars drove very, very nice. So and you can get it for, through Steam you can get it for $32. If you go to 505 Games, it's $25. But if you go through Humble Bundle or CD Keys, wherever, you get it for like $22. So for me, like for $25, I would just buy it and not mess around with it. Wait for it to get more updates.
Just to get it at that price and sit on it.
Exactly, because when it comes
it's like
out
a stock.
Full launch,
it's like buying a stock cheap.
Yeah, because when it comes out to full launch, it'll be $50-$60. So I would get it now at a much cheaper price, because I do think they will. Kunos is generally very good at fixing their stuff and getting better and better, so I expect them to do the same thing here. So I think as the months go on, it'll become a more and more polished game. So,
right.
Yeah, that's That's my initial impressions
Okay.
about it.
Their
we've
fog
wasted...
their fog looks great. Their fog looks like it's
Yeah.
actually like eerie, you know, which is
Yeah,
what
exactly.
fog on a racetrack looks eerie. By the way, if you have
Yeah.
witnessed such a thing. Jay says this, and AMS2 sucked, now it's great. LMU sucked, now it's great. ACE sucks, but it will be great. Give it time, folks. I well said.
I'll say Star Fox. I drove the M2 for a little bit, but my two favorite cars out of what I drove were the Mercedes GT2, and the Honda S2000.
S2000.
And just for when the sound of the VTEC kicks in, I'm like, that engine sound, oh my god, it sounds so good in the sim, so freaking good.
When you said Merc, I thought you were talking about my Cougar. Sorry. All right, so ACC. Beyond that, Overtake just put up a reminder going back in time, early access roadmap. So anyway, Overtake is a good place to go to if you're into Evo right now or today. They have that article on the early access reminding you of the pathway of what we're going to get over time, and they have the wheel settings. So I definitely recommend getting over there and checking them out. And I think that's all we had to say about Asto Corsa. And I think for the Simpet, I have one more thing I'm going to talk about at the end of the show. We had a hot lap pump day on Wednesday. I apologize, and also our rally. We'll get to all the racing stuff at the end. Actually, we're going to touch upon it real quick, but we're going to come back to it. How many people ran on the Roar? Did you run the Roar?
I didn't run the Roar, no.
The Roar before the 24.
Yeah.
8,241 racers showed up, 140 total splits, 492,000 laps, 1,754,000 miles. Did anybody watch... Sorry, rabbit hole. I need a rabbit hole cam. Anybody watch yesterday as far as space flight goes? Does anybody have any idea Actually, let's go. Anybody realize how big the last 48 hours have been in space? So in the last 48 hours, correct me if I'm wrong, India is the 4th country to successfully dock in space. That's a big deal. Only 4 countries have done it. India just did it the other day. SpaceX did 2 launches in 2 days, if I'm not mistaken. They launched one from Vandenberg, and then they launched one from, what? No, that was at home, from Texas, right?
Yep.
Chopsticks are in Texas.
Yesterday. Yep, yesterday.
And yesterday, SpaceX technically launched the biggest thing that's ever been launched. So, I mean, it makes, like, Apollo mission rockets look small. What's funny is the shape looks so similar, right? You look at it, it's a rocket right next to a tower. But it's like this thing was a monster on the scale of what we send to space, which is a very big deal in terms of space exploration. And then, if that wasn't enough, Blue Origin launched yesterday. And they are now in space with a very revolutionary rocket design, by the way. I mean, it looks, again, like a normal rocket. And I don't know all the particulars about that rocket, but I know it has some tech in it that is like new age tech when it comes to rocket propulsion and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I was on YouTube constantly like, another launch. This is great. I love it. I don't know. I'm a big fan of that if you can figure it out. And yes, I've played my share of Kerbal. I suck at it, but I've played a lot of it. Does not have mixed reviews. I think that has very favorable reviews. Kerbal Space Program. Anyone else play it?
Yeah.
Have you played it?
No.
What?
I know Devin plays it a lot.
I suck at it. I was watching a guy who's good at it. It's like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
Their instructions are so bad. How the fuck did you do that? I swore.
No, I've been playing a lot of Delta Force lately. I don't know if it's a free shooter on Steam, so I've been playing that lately, just in my free time.
Delta Force?
Delta Force, yeah.
Wow. All right.
I know.
iRacing Special Forces, Daytona 24. We're going to talk about this a little bit more, but we're at the iRacing page.
I'm ready.
The largest sim racing event in the world. That is true, by the way. There is no event in sim racing that gets more entries and more people involved. It's not so much like, I think the Indy 500 would probably beat it if it was 24 hours long and you could have like that many drivers involved.
It's because we don't have Le Mans anymore.
Yeah, good point. But the iRacing Daytona 24 is this weekend. Who will you be racing with, they say, Amir?
I'm racing with Team Simpit!
That's right. We're going to get to that at the end of the show. We're going to congratulate and talk about all the awesome Simpit racing going on in just a little bit here. We got not a lot of news. I don't know if you guys noticed me dragging my feet here today, but I had no interest in hurrying along because I knew there wasn't a whole lot to talk about out there. For our WRC people, though, this is big. This is EA Sports WRC. New stages, new liveries, new vehicles, and an all-new car class. Celebrate French rally dominance with EA Sports WRC Le Maestros. Out January 28th. All right, I'm pretty pumped about that. Are you? You're not a rally guy.
No, I'm not. It's okay. I'll watch you do it. I'll live my rally fantasies through you, vicariously.
Dirge, I apologize. I did not get my rally run in this week, and I feel really badly about it. I was going to do it. No, I didn't get it in. I had deadlines that I just couldn't control, and some things thrown in at the last minute kind of stuff. So, no, I wasn't able to. I was down to like the last 24 hours, but and truth be told, I've been getting up at 3 in the morning to get work done. I don't know if any of you see and look on our Discord and be like, why the hell is Sean Cole already alive, awake, and moving? But why is there a green light next to his name and it's 3 in the morning? Yeah, because that's what I've been doing lately.
Yeah.
All right. Which is kind of why I'm so chill today. I'm going to pass out right after this show is over. So anyway, new cars, new stages, cool stuff coming to WRC on the 28th. Oldest letting us know WRC's on Xbox Pass right now.
All right. Yeah, and Jay, and so you brought up like a really good point, like, and now I guess like going back to like early access titles and everything like that. But the one thing that made that okay with Project Cars was that's how it was advertised. They advertised it would be built based off of the feedback of the people that were buying into it. And I even bought into it. I did too. I was one of their early adopters for it. I'm like, holy crap, this is pretty cool. Like, they're going to try to do things based off of my feedback, with hundreds of other people. So to me, that would be like, cool. If that's how you're going to release it, you were very clear from the get-go. All right, got it. I'm okay with that. And so, but because they didn't try to hide anything, they were like, hey, we're going to be building this game based off of user feedback. But I'm not. But yeah, but then like the whole early access where they don't really do that, they just want to use this as beta testers, nothing else. I'm not happy with that. Yeah.
Yeah. John, if you're referring to Asto Corsa Evo, yes, it's a whole new game, brand new game. Yeah, and it's from the ground up. I mean, I love
from the ground up.
But yeah, they didn't use what was the name of that engine? Everyone, the Real engine, wasn't it? Real
for AC Evo.
For ACC and mini.
Oh, ACC was Unreal. Yeah,
Unreal.
Yeah, this is the Unreal engine, but this one they're using their own.
Now they're using the Real engine. It was the Unreal before. Now it's the Real engine. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, that should work out better, I would think. All right.
I still had some graphical issues, but anyways, yeah.
I heard, I think Will Ford, Boosted Media, mentioned that the fog looks great, but that when he came over the hill at Bathurst, it just sort of like did this weird like disappearing thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some, but again, it's early access. That gets the whole thing that we were talking about, though. It's like, man, do you really want to let people get a bad impression when you have such potential? Or can you control, and this is why I get back to one car, one track. Well, don't give them fog at Bathurst in the combo, and they won't see that we're still working on it. Or don't give them the rain, which looked great on the windshield, but where was the water on the ground? maybe we shouldn't turn rain on in our little demo. I would have done a 1-car, 1-track demo, and it would have made the whole downloading and installing process so much basic and easy. And I'm not even sure they need to do that. I mean, if they needed money, maybe, but otherwise, it's like, why don't you just get a little further along? All right,
Yep.
We're done. I'm beating that horse again. Whipping that horse. Anyway, Race Room is also having their first ranked event of 2025, and that's the Daytona 2.4 hour. Sort of their roar, but it's not before. The roar is the 24. Yeah?
Yeah.
That'll be on the 1st, so if you're a Race Room person, there you go. Maestros. I'm sure I butchered that. My fingers were not quick enough to get to the disclaimer button. No. That's just a expansion module for WRC.
Yeah.
SES is sharing update on the Scandinavia DLC refresh. See some cool architecture in this update. Looks like they found some iconic buildings that need to be placed here and there to really make you feel like you were there.
Okay.
So anyway,
These guys are like the hardest working people in Sims, man. Like they're always like releasing new things, updating, fixing things. Like, man, hats off to those guys.
They got to pay for them corporate headquarters.
Right.
All right. Obviously, we already talked about it. Moza is talking about their new FSR2 Formula Rim, which we already covered. Also talking about the CM2 Dash that we also already covered. And I'm not sure what to do. I have done 3 times over my tutorial on how to build a Dash.
Mm-hmm.
I filmed it 3 times over.
Mm-hmm.
I have one that is almost done editing.
Okay.
And in the middle of editing, I'm like, oh, you could have done this so much better, Sean. And I'm like, this is just not, you went the wrong direction. This isn't how you do it.
Yeah.
So I might refilm it again. Like, I think the problem was I was kind of torn between, am I trying to teach you how to do this, or am I showing you how I built my Dash? And I'm like, if I show you how I built my Dash, that actually serves very little value. And the program is easy, but it's tricky. So, like, just getting over a couple of small hurdles is the difference between being successful and not at making dashes. Like, it's just this little tiny, tiny bit of wisdom and knowledge is all it takes to be up and running. And then even if you don't know everything, you know how to figure it out from there. And I think that I need to spend more focus on teaching you how to do it than showing you my Dash. Like, I'm not an artist. Right. My Dash is just okay. It doesn't need to be praised in any way. Value of entertainment would be watching me editing the 3 versions and getting frustrated. That would be the most entertainment if I had the video on.
I'd pay $1 for that.
Simrig, it's happening. I even put it in the description of the show. I promise that I will do it. It's just a matter of whether it's version 3 or version 4. I just think I'll have more fun refilming it and editing version 4 than finishing version 3. Bring back the wigs. That's what they scream in the halls of Congress in England, I think. Right?
Bring back the wig. Where's my wig, boy? Yeah.
All right. That Lamborghini wheel, I just scrolled up on the Moza page, and that Lamborghini wheel, I know it was such an obscenely priced wheel.
Yeah.
But man, it is such a cool steering wheel. I mean, it's weird and different. Like, it's so not the same as every other wheel. I'll give them a lot of credit for that. That thing is...
I'll give it that. It's a very different looking wheel. I will give them that, man. Like, yeah.
Wig party. What I need to do is get a P.O. box so that I can give out some form of address, and then you will all have to send me wigs that I will then wear. Because every time I go to look at wigs, I'm like, no. I just don't. Like, no. Versus if one showed up in my P.O. box, chances are I'd wear it. Sim Magic is showing off their new Neo X hub. We talked about it. It is now available for purchase. They're showing off some of the other features and a little more information about it, like what you could do on the screens. But I know it's on their website, and I know you can buy it. And I know... ow. Oh, fucking shoulder. My shoulders are so... You have no idea how much that hurt right there. I know it looks something like this. What? Yeah, it looks like this. This is kind of what it looks like. This is a mock-up of... Like, they didn't send me one. And so I was so butthurt that I'm like, I'll just make a mock-up of one because they didn't send me one. So here's my mock-up of the Neo X hub with dual paddle shifters. Should we rant cam this just for visibility? This isn't a rant, everyone. This is not a rant. Dong, dong.
Looks nice.
Dong,
I do like how...
dong. Sorry.
No, it's good. I like it. It looks nice, man. I like how they designed it because I know like the previous Neo had limitations with what wheel sizes you can put to it, but I think this one you can
Pro hub.
Yeah, I think what they said with this one you can go as low as 290 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, it gets very narrow. I actually had to use the extensions on that rim there, which is like 320, I think. 310 or 320. It's also, you know what is really cool also on that? It's really relatively inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so that whole setup there is what, 259, 280?
Okay.
Because the hub itself is only $200. The
Right.
the modules are like $50. And then the wheel rim, the paddle shifter modules, the duals are like...
Because I mean, then I guess like it depends on what paddle modules you go with too, right? The single double,
or
or
the
triple.
double. But even with the double, I mean, it was like two... Wait, I have it written down. Where is it? Hold on. Oh no, I didn't write down the with the rim packages. I think they normally charge $50 for that rim. So when I look at their bundled packages, basically it was like $30, so $20 off bundled. The hub's $199 with a single shifter. It's $239 with dual shifters. It's $254. All right. And you can put the mag link on that. And which means you could use it on any NRG style quick release. So if you wanted to use it on a Moza base or a Sim anything, as long as it has the 10 bearing NRG. So the I mean that is a lot of wheel for that price. And the cool thing is I don't mind the Sim Magic Alcantara wheel.
Yeah.
But the way they did this, and all this will be covered on the review, that's why I just like giving you guys things. A lot of times people use the bolt that holds the rim on to hold the quick release. Like the bolt will go all the way from the front, all the way to the quick release, holding it all together. And in that scenario on a hub style design, or ones I built myself as well, I'm like, oh, I would never change rims. Or maybe like if this season we were doing oval and next season we're doing IndyCar, okay, maybe I'll do a seasonal change, right? Take my wheel apart and put it back together again. In this case, it's literally 6 bolts and the wheel rim comes off of the hub. So I could just bolt a different wheel on. Now, I wouldn't do that every race, right?
Right.
But you could do it weekly. You could do it as needed kind of thing. And I like that. The other thing is, we're in at under $300 for a wheel that has a lot of great features. If I wanted to, I could just put a Moza wheel on it. You know, this is just a cheap rim. If I wanted to make it really nice, I mean, and honestly, I think it justifies it.
I mean, or you could use any wheel rim you want too. You don't have to necessarily. You could go with expensive if you wanted to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it. I think it's a really cool option. I think it's something that I love the hub design, and it was between the FSR rim that I was just testing and playing with that. And hey, Corsair, if you're listening, do you realize that Fnatic technically only has one display? I mean, they have their little LCD things, right? But they only have one wheel with a display, and it's the Bentley wheel.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really weird. So yeah, I think it's really cool that I think hubs are a great design. I think it's a equalizer for those who don't have a big budget and they're not going to spend $650 on a rim. It just kind of allows them to get into like some really high end feel at a reasonable price, which I dig that very much so. So I think that's all I had. Yeah, different paddle shifters, shapes. Anyway, they're talking about some update notes for some of the lighting effects and things for the Neo X.
And it works through SimHub.
Yes, it works through SimHub. Yeah. So anyway, that's obviously something I'm working on. I don't know if you guys figured out. Yeah. I don't know if you guys figured that out from all of that. So all right, another shot of the VSR rig. We saw this, so we got some more drawings of the new VSR GT2 rig, they're calling it. Ooh, my stomach's grumbling. That's what happens when you wake up at 3 in the morning. You get hungry at 9. And that's it from VRS.
Competitor into the sim rigs.
All right, and that takes us. Like that. You don't like what?
I don't. I hate. I get why. I don't know. Like. I hate how the rig manufacturers now are going to this profile, but with no slots, or very limited slots. Like, to me, I get it. You want to be more streamlined and everything, but that takes away from why people go for profile rigs versus tube rigs or anything else. Is like, you want to be able to use those slots to mount anything anywhere you want. But now we're getting to the point where no, now you got to work around how we design the rig to make it more smooth and streamlined.
It defeats all the advantages of the profile, or not all, because it still has slots on it areas. It defeats a lot of the advantages of profile, and unfortunately just barely upgrades it aesthetically, because it still looks like a boxy 90-degree angle only rig, which is my only complaint of a profile rig. It's like, it looks industrial. It doesn't look...
Yeah.
Race cars aren't industrial. Race cars are works of art.
Yeah, I mean, and you can still do it. Like, you could put vinyl stickers on it. You could overlay something on top of the profile slots that you're not using. But, to get rid of it completely, it's just... I don't like how a lot of the manufacturers are going nowadays, man. That's why I still have my original silver P1, SimLab P1. Silver. I'm not getting rid of it. Yeah, because nobody does silver rigs anymore. Nope. Everything has black.
Black. Everything black on black on black.
Yeah, but I'll never get rid of it because it's so highly functional. I can adapt it to anything I want it to, and you can't do that with the rigs nowadays.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
I'm very ranty today.
You are. They said you took over for me. I need to go to the bathroom, so we have two choices. You can do another rant, or we can move into Simpit Racing and get through it really quickly and bring the show to an end.
To you, man. I don't have any more rants, so...
What if they made what if they anodized them purple?
That wouldn't be a rant. That would be like, oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell
want
to
that.
the yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wasn't it Sawbelt who was making rigs at Sim Expo, and they had really cool colors, like they had a Lotus, green and yellow one.
Yeah, but again, they're doing the whole limited profile slot stuff too. Yeah.
You don't rant, you tirade.
Emir tirade, yes.
Oh, all right. Let's see here. In the Simpit Rally League, as I mentioned, I did not get a run-in at Rally Sweden, which is stage 2 in our championship, so I apologize for that. It was David S. winning the event with an overall time of 27:49. Alesh Mom finishing in second.
Hell yeah, David S.
With 28:28, 39 seconds back. David destroying people this week. Caractacus finishing in third place. PC Deadman, Heiko, Max Power, Frito Sport, Jeff SMKU, Dirge, May Racer, SVT. Great turnout this week, guys. Oh, I love it. Sillenby, Betty Racing, LRJ55, Razor Blades, Blow Me Schmo. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that out loud. M. Thompson, that reminds me of a name. F4H, John, and Tim, Spatial Dragon. With that, our championship looks like this. David S. with 43 points, Alesh Mom with 26, Heiko with 25, and Fearless with 25, Caractacus 21. So this week, we're at Rally Kenya.
That's a good result, Heiko, man. Like Heiko hasn't rallied with us in almost 2 years.
Yeah, Heiko's
already coming back and
presence with authority
and kicking ass. Hell yeah!
All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. You talk for a minute. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Talk about rallying. Talk about your love for rally and that new rally pack. I can't remember the Italian sounding word.
Nothing about them. You're setting me up for failure, Sean.
All right, talk about Evo.
Evo. I don't know. Sorry. So while Shaw goes to the bathroom, you guys are unfortunately stuck with me. What is it you guys want to talk about? Let me listen to your questions live on the SimPitch and YouTube channel. No, it's good. I'm excited. I'm happy to see Heiko back. I'm starting to see people. I'm happy to see people come back and racing with us. Oh, and I dropped something. Oh well, it's all good. But no, getting back to, I guess we'll talk about, Dirge, I'm not just, I've tried rally games, so many rally games up in the past. It's just not my thing. I like figuring out how to go faster through corners and not slide on gravel. That's just how I am, man. I'm not a big rally guy. Even like, I've tried it. I've tried giving it multiple tries, and I still promise Callum that I will give rally a go. But I first need to build my rally wheel, which is going to be my next build. Hopefully, as things stabilize and I know what's going to be happening in the next couple of months, I will start building the Cornwall rally wheel, and then I'll start doing some rally with you guys. Yeah.
All right, you heard it from Amir. All right.
Oh, you're back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
So last week was Lime Rock Park. This is the Sean versus Amir challenge, the fantasy league that we're testing with. Amir's kicking my ass. I got 116 points. Amir 169. Last week, Joe Dynamite scoring 47 points for me at Navarra. I'm sorry, at Lime Rock, and Brandon Carl scoring 61 points for Amir at Lime Rock. So now we need to pick for Winton Motor Raceway.
Yep.
Who are you sending in?
So, and this week is a double points week too.
Oh, wow.
I know. So I know we've already rotated through all our drivers. So, for our first double points week, and then here's the thing, like, and this is like, I don't know if you remember, Sean, like, right, we have mulligans too, right?
Right.
Where we can erase the thing, but we lose it. So, but anyways, for me, I guess with double points, I'm gonna go with my star, Andrus Slizens. He's gonna be my go-to guy.
All right. What do you know? I'm using the same logic. Go get him, Oldest! All right. We'll see how this works out for next week.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been talking to my team about it a little bit with my team. I haven't given them that much time yet, but it's pretty cool. They're enjoying it a little bit. I mean, some of them are running into problems with traffic and everything like that. But,
right.
It's good. Maybe we can expand on it, make it something bigger, maybe something different the next offseason. I got a couple ideas in my head.
Yeah, I think we're going to need to create a channel or a thread on Discord for this on its own. We might need to get people to start sending me some pictures or something so we can enhance it graphically or something. But this is a test season where maybe next season we'll have more coaches, managers, whatever you want to call, and more teams or more drivers, more than just 3 drivers if it's just me versus Amir. But yeah, we're just kind of playing with the concept and the idea and seeing how it plays out.
Anytime I can beat you, I'm happy.
All right. Yeah. Well, it's okay. It's okay. And with that, I did an announcement. I'm trying to build up enthusiasm for Hot Lap Pump Day. So I actually did an announcement video, and I might, I don't know, re-release it again next week. I'm not sure. I'm going to start talking about it here on the show because I'm taking the lead on Hot Lap Pump Day. Hot Lap Pump Day was always something that was put on between like Rick Motek and Kevin Ford from Extreme, and I just kind of came in and did my thing. This season, I'm taking it over. I want to control the combinations that we pick and choose. I want to just know what I'm dealing with each week so that I can stream it without not knowing. So I can't guarantee that Robbie or Brian will be there every week. We won't have an announcer. We're going to do a lot like we did yesterday. But at the end of last season, me and Robbie and Brian, I was telling Robbie and Brian, hey, our turnout's kind of dropping. Do we even continue forward? And they both really liked it. I've heard from a lot of you who really, really like doing it as well. Here was the response we got. And I think it was my selection for the last race of the season that really made it clear. For the last race of the season, I picked the BMW M2 CS and put it at Sebring. And we only had like 15 drivers. So everyone was alone on the track, essentially. We need to get back to, and that's this program, this promo. We need wacky combinations. We did a fun race. Andrew White put it on us in the late model at, where were we? My memory's mush. And it was super duper
You're
fun.
at Lime Rock, right?
Yeah, I think,
Lime
no,
Rock?
we were at Lime Rock for Hot Lap Pump Day.
Oh, okay.
So there's a Legends car at Wild West. There's the trucks at Lime Rock, which we ran. There's a Lamborghini at Volusia. There's the mini stock at Tsukuba Small. The mini stock was a blast. So we are gonna do wacky combos this season. And every month it's gonna be something weird, a little more fun. Tony, I think half the events are going to be fixed setups. It'll depend on the car and what's available for the car, like in my testing. But yeah, mark it in your calendar. The third Wednesday of every month is the Hot Lap Pump Day. And now I want to congratulate none other than I'm sorry. I can be such a Nimrod sometimes. Oh my God. Andrew Slisson's on winning the event.
Nice.
Hold on. On winning our first event of the year, and he did a really good job. He was very fast. He was the only driver to break into the 59s. Oh, I turned you off. Hold on, Amir. Let's get Amir back on here. So great job by Oldest. And we're actually looking at his 59-second lap time, which, again, he was like almost a second quicker. I think two other people actually got into the 59s, but he was clearly the fast man on the day and winning event number 1. So, there he is. All right, let me turn that off. I didn't even spent that. Okay, next up, let's talk. We're back to the 24-hour event. Andrew, I would love to, but I'm maxed out, man. I'm so short on time. I can't run leagues. I'm trying to get out and do some points-paying racing, and I'm not even getting to that. So, yeah. Anyway, 24-hour of Daytona. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. Races start tonight. I'm assuming you guys are running the first split in the morning tomorrow. That's what
we're running the Saturday. Yeah, Saturday usually.
Yeah,
so
that's our normal slot.
Yeah, I think 2:00 my time in the afternoon. I can't remember. Yeah, stateside. Yeah, but we'll be going live. I'll be streaming Team Orange, and then I believe Sam Hinchy will be streaming Team Blue on his channel.
Team Orange with Amir is going to be Amir Assad, Johnny Alford, Noah Hinton, and Mike Pepper, because unfortunately Nicholas Maynard had to pull out of the race. And Team Blue is going to be Sam Hinchy, Chris Generelli, Ola Sarnquist, Carl Schwing, and Andrew White. So I wish you all the best of luck in the race, and I really appreciate. I love that we get guys who run in the Sim Pit colors, representing the show and our community, and I appreciate it. This fancy new paint job, I believe Amir painted that car, did he not?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. There might be a little teaser on that photo. I'm not sure. There's a little something on that photo. I'm not gonna say anything. Not saying anything. Just saying. Not seeing. Saying. All right. That's that. And then with that, sim rigs. All right. We'll look at some sim rigs. We'll see if there's a DIY worth looking at. Good luck, you guys. Good luck, Amir.
Thanks, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's been, I think I haven't done an endurance race since Spa last year. What was that, June, July? So I'm excited to get back into it, man. I love doing endurance races. It's so much fun being part of a team, and having to do the managing and all that sort of stuff. I love all that stuff, man. So I'm excited for it. But yeah, we'll be going live right as qualifying, probably so around 2:00 Central European time, and then I'm excited. We can get this done, and hopefully we can get a good result.
Awesome. Not seeing many rigs here today. Seeing lots of posts of driving.
Everybody's busy ranting about AC Evo.
That's a lot of what I'm seeing. Okay, here's a rig worth looking at. Sim and Workspace finally coming together. This is by Particular Suit. Look at this seat. Do you see it?
Ew.
Look at the streaming camera.
I mean,
Yes. Use your words.
there are no words. I mean, no, it looks like. I mean, okay, he made himself a Deathmobile, especially for Formula One. Cool. Look like looking at, but then like, why did he choose that color for the seat?
Well,
Or is that just?
This is
Or is that
such
just like a
this is a
placeholder for now? Like he's still building it.
It's a plate. Yeah, maybe he's putting a fabric over that. That's just the padding.
Yeah.
But he had a race on Saturday, so
Okay.
you do what you got to do. I don't know.
Yeah. If it's a
The
placeholder,
Grinch.
cool. I won't judge it too much, but like,
Grinch mobile.
yeah.
I
But
know.
I like how he made a Deathmobile for F1 racing. I like that. It's really
It's a
cool.
total play seat formula copy with a center
Yeah.
post. All right, cool. What else? Oh, this is like Deathmobile action. Pick this direct drive wheel at $37 a micro. What? That's a PXN. That's the PXN. Micro Center was selling the PXN direct drive for $37.
I don't believe that.
It must have been like an open box.
It had to been like a glitch or something.
Yeah.
Maybe you can see in the comments. So he says something. I don't know. I mean,
no.
I've seen that at Micro Center. I've seen it. But $37? Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I mean, I've bought a pair of headphones that were like $200, and they priced them wrong. Before at a store, they priced them for $25, and I got them for $25. So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Seeing a lot of folding rigs.
Yeah.
Help. Yeah, a lot. Not so much on the rigs today. More just Evo.
Yeah.
That's the word of the day. NK Pro Racing.
Even when I was scrolling on Facebook, seeing some of the groups for sim racing, everybody's like either praising Evo or crapping on it. It's so funny. It's just the flavor of the month right now.
Yeah, totally. That was a green screen chair. He does streaming, and so he just wanted to superimpose himself in a real cockpit.
Gotcha. Maybe.
Well, I think we've got to the end of the show. Here's a desktop setup. Oh, it's a wheel stand at the desk. Gotcha. That's how I do my truck sim racing. Sim driving. No one hit me up for a convoy, by the way. Just saying. Put the word out there. No one cared. No one wanted to drive with the rubber ducky.
We asked Josh to do it, but Josh didn't want to do it.
No. All right. Well, I think that's it for me. I'm getting back to work. I got a wheel there. I got a dash tutorial to do. I got boxes upon boxes upon boxes in that closet that need to be gotten to. I've got stuff there. So I just need to get back to work.
Yeah. I got to get dinner ready too, and then do some Daytona prep for tomorrow.
Daytona prep. Yeah, good luck. Here,
Thanks,
let's finish with that, actually. Once again, let's give a big round of applause, pat on the back, cheer, go get them, guys, to Team Orange of Amir Assad, Johnny Alford, Mike Pepper, and Noah Hinton, and to Team Blue of Andrew White, Chris Generelli, Carl Schwing, Ola Sarnquist, and Sam Hinchy. Thank you all. Have a great race. I'll be checking in on everybody's streams. Anybody streaming the race, even if you're not part of the Simpit teams, if you're streaming the race and you're part of our community, feel free to, over the next 24 hours, post links to your stream. I don't care if you're a different channel. I really don't. If you're in the car and you're streaming it, post it in our Discord so others can come cheer you on. We all appreciate endurance racing and all the time and effort and gentleman racer mentality that goes into it, and I love it, so we want to support you as well. So, Amir, any last thoughts? We're going to bring it to an end.
I am good to go. I'll just say, everybody have a great weekend. If you're racing at Daytona, I wish you guys the best of luck. Hopefully, we're in the same split together and we can actually talk and see how the other team is doing. Like, I like seeing other teams from other drivers that I know in the splits and just chat as we're driving around. So yeah, good luck to everybody that's going to be racing tomorrow. And if you bought Evo, have fun with Evo this weekend. Just have a great weekend. Enjoy it. Have fun.
Get out there. Do some sim racing. This is the Sim Pit. Another edition of the Pit Stop. I'm Sean Cole. That's Amir Assad. And we will see you on the track. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Later, guys.